Shabbat shalom, everyone. To all of those celebrating simchas and to our community who gets to celebrate with you, Mazel Tov, and thank you for being able to share your simchas with us. This past week, one of the most famous hip-hop artists in the country posted to social media. He had something he wanted to say to all of his followers, so he took to his platform and wrote, "I support my Jewish friends and the Jewish people." Just 2 days earlier, another famous hip-hop artist posted to social media. He had something he wanted to say to all of his followers, so he took to his platform and wrote, "I refuse to accept the anti-Black, anti-Semitic, and Nazi rhetoric of Candace Owens and Kanye West." The first quote came from Q-Tip, the Abstract, a founder of one of hip-hop's pioneer groups, my personal favorite musical group of all time, A Tribe Called Quest. The second quote, and just to be fair here, I could have picked many quotes from this man, was from Talib Kweli, another pioneer and legend of hip-hop. Over the last couple of weeks, I have been fuming, admittedly not in a great place, because I've been scared, because I've been angry, really angry, but probably most palpably because I've been hurt. I don't have the thickest skin, so when I hear hate directed at the essence of my identity, at my people, it hurts. It hurts deep in my heart when people hate us. When age-old anti-Semitic tropes come out of the mouths or the fingertips of some of the most influential people in our country. It hurts. It's scary. It's dangerous. But what I want to talk about this morning isn't that, because I think we all agree with that it doesn't feel good when we feel hurt. But I do want to talk about that danger, because I think that danger is real. And I think it's most dangerous in a way that we don't fully recognize. There's empirical evidence that when people like Kanye West, Candace Owens, and Donald Trump put out anti-Semitic tropes, conspiracy theories, and dog whistles to their millions of followers, that violence against Jews and anti-Semitic incidents in general increase. That's just a statistical fact. But I think the greatest damage that comes from these vile remarks is not to our bodies and not to our peace of mind, but to our collective psyche as a people. Because despite the crassness, despite the ignorance, part of us, even if it's just a small part of who we are, believes that one person, that one individual, speaks for the world. That they don't represent a fringe, extreme ideology of hate, but rather the mainstream. And that psychological condition, unfortunately, is part of what it means to be human. It is built into who we are. We as individuals can receive 100 compliments and 1 insult, and you know what will consume us, will eat away at us? That 1 insult. And not only will it eat away at us, it will, with incredible efficacy, cloud and block out all 100 compliments. Just like that. That's what's most dangerous. And why it's so dangerous, my friends, my family, is because we can't exist like that. We can't walk through this world thinking that we are alone, believing that we are alone, because it's crippling and because it's not fair. It's not fair to all of our friends, to our brothers and sisters of different faith groups and backgrounds who put themselves in the line of ridicule and harassment and even physical harm from racists and bigots. And it's not fair to us. Because friendship, because partnership, because mutual respect and love is not just imperative survival, it is also the key to a beautiful and meaningful life. Q-Tip doesn't have the same influence as Kanye. Talib Kweli doesn't have the same influence as Kanye. But their voices are not the exception. They're the rule. Because for every one of those smaller voices, there are millions more that are smaller still, but they're still voices and they matter. Every last one of them, they matter. Not only because they respect and appreciate our tradition, our peoplehood, but because they help shape our tradition and our peoplehood. Like any friend, they make us better. They help us appreciate who we are and what we give to this world. We learn from them, and they learn from us, because that's what friends do. So here's what we need to do, and full disclaimer here, it's not easy. It's not easy for me, and I imagine it's not easy for a lot of us. But what we need to do is fight against all that all-consuming darkness that hate speech creates, and instead elevate the light. Elevate the voices of our friends. The voices of influential people, of course, like Q-Tip and Talib Kweli, like Reese Witherspoon, like Florence Pugh, like Jamie Lee Curtis, who all spoke out in the last couple of weeks. But more importantly, the voices of our personal non-Jewish friends and neighbors who speak up when they don't have to, who send messages of support and care when they don't have to. Because these people in our lives are far more important than those who propagate hate and fear. It doesn't feel that way. I know it doesn't feel that way. But it's true. I promise you, I promise us, that they matter so much more than the bigots with the megaphone. So let me heed my own words here and say publicly from this bima to my non-Jewish friends, to my friends Tina, Anna, and Kat, Andrew, Wade, Nick, and Rowan, and to anyone else I might have missed who have reached out in the last 2 weeks, thank you. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for showing outrage, anger, and support. Thank you for loving my Judaism because you know that I love my Judaism. And thank you for helping me love and appreciate it even more. Thank you for being friends. Thank you for reminding me that we're not alone. It means more than you know. What I hope you hear from me this morning isn't that we should let anti-Semitism go. We shouldn't. We shouldn't remain silent. We can't remain silent. We should and we will fight back with all of our strength. But when we're fighting, especially when we're in the throes of that fight, when it feels like we're losing hope, when it feels like the waves of history are once again crashing at our shores, we must open our eyes and look around at all of those who are at our side. Because it is they that deserve to fill our minds and our hearts. It is they who deserve to show up on our Twitter feeds and our timelines. It is our friends who deserve to occupy the space in our heads and hearts. It is our friends that deserve the interviews and press releases, the podcasts and the opinion articles. It is our friends who deserve us, and it is us who deserve them. This past summer, Meredith, Elior, and I got together with friends of ours and their families in Pittsburgh. And when we were there, we went to Tree of Life. It's still empty. 4 years. We just marked the yard site 2 days ago. Obstructed with a chain link fence, covered with a tarp, while the minyanim that used to call it home are meeting in other synagogues and Jewish community centers in Squirrel Hill. And it's going to take time for that building to feel safe again, for that community to heal. But while it does, what covers that synagogue, that sacred space, is that tarp over a fence. And on that tarp are 200-some pictures submitted from children all over the country. And notably, over 100 of them are students of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Many of those pictures are pretty simple. Hearts, menorahs, Jewish stars, hands and fingers intertwined. But what those pictures represent is the heartbeat of all of this craziness that we call life. Those pictures represent the light that can never be snuffed out. The promise that no matter how bad things get or how bad they feel, no matter how hopeless it can seem, we're not alone. We are not alone. Not now, not ever. A couple of weeks ago, some individuals posted some hateful things. I don't need to talk about them. We've talked about them enough. And yes, in the wake of those hateful comments, some others have followed suit, feeling empowered, feeling emboldened, feeling justified and validated in their hate. But within minutes and nonstop since then, far more people have stood up and spoken for love, for friendship, for respect and dignity and peace. We need to treat ourselves with some kindness, and we need to hear them. They deserve to be heard. We deserve to feel that love. And they deserve to know that their love is felt. We deserve to know that friendship. Because there are so many sparks of light in this world. And we, those sparks, we deserve each other. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'll invite you to rise now as we continue with our Musaf service, giving thanks for being able to be together as a community filled with support, filled with love, filled with a sense of family. We'll continue with Chatzi Kaddish. We're on page 155.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה וילמד יברכילותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי חול ובימי ובכל בית ישראל בגלה בזמן קריב יאמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לעולמי עולמיה יתברך וישבח ויפואר ויתמר ותנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמר קדשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירה על מעלמה וימרו Amen.
Amen. We will continue now with our Musaf Amidah. We'll daven our first 3 brachot aloud together and then continue silently. We're on page 156b.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak veElohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel veElohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Gibor v'Norah El Elyon גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ומביא גואל לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ופוקד ומושיע ומגן Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ufokei tzara. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei metim atah, Rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, mechalkel chaim bechesed, mechayei metim berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, umido melach, melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua. ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים.
The Kaddish is on page 157.
נעריצך ונקדישך כסוד שיח שרפי קודש המקדישים שמך בקודש ככתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זה ויאמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך כל הארץ כבודו כבודו מלא עולם משרתיו שואלים זה לזה כבודו מלא עולם משרתיו שואלים זה לזה איי 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 מקום כבודו איי 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 מקום כבודו לעומתם ברוך יאמרו ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. ממקומו הוא יפן ברחמים ויחונם המייחדים שמו ערב הבוקר בכל יום תמיד פעמיים ביבה שמע אומרים שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד הוא אלוהינו הוא אבינו הוא מלכנו הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו שנית 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 לעיני כל חי להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם ובדברי קודשך כתוב לאמור ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור הללויה לדור ודור לדור ודור לדור ודור נגיד גודלך ולנצח נצחים ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש לדור ודור לדור ודור לדור ודור נגיד גודלך ולנצח נצחים ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד כי אל מלך גדול כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה vador, ledor vador, ledor vador, nagid God lecha, ulenetzach netzachim, ulenetzach netzachim, kedushatcha nagdish. Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch hu, Baruch Shemo, Ha'el, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Amen.
We'll continue silently in the Hebrew, in the English, or whatever words are on our heart. If you have not completed your silent Amidah, please continue at your own pace. We'll come back together for Kaddish Shalem, page 181.
יגנב גן השם מרבה, ואלמדי ונחלתי ולמיך מלכותי בחייכו, לרבית ישראל, בהגל בזמן קריב ימרו, אמן, יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם לעולם ואלמיה, יתברך, יברך וישבח ויפוח ותלמד ותנשא, ותהדר ותעלה ותעלה, שמי קודשה, בריחו לילה מן כה בחטא ושירתה, תושבחת ונחמתה לאמירן מלמה וימרו, אמן. תתקבל צלות ענוותון לכל ישראל, כל דם עוונדי ושמיה וימרו, אמן. יש לנו רב משמיה וחיים עלינו ויעקב ישראל וימרו, אמן. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ויעקב ישראל וימרו, Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. Continue with Ein Keloheinu, page 182.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mi Eloheinu, Mi Chadonenu, Mi Chemalkeinu, Mi Chemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shiktiru, Avoteinu, Lefanecha et Ketoret Hasamim.
Please rise for Aleinu, page 183.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. אוקיי, נקבל לך. ככתוב בתורתך אדוני מלך לעולמות, ונאמר היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. In love, we remember those who no longer walk this earth. We are grateful to God for the gift of their lives, for the joys we shared, and for the cherished memories that never fade. May God grant those who mourn the strength to see beyond their sorrow, sustaining them despite their grief. Our hearts go out to those who have lost a loved one in the last 7 days, as we remember Sheldon Cohn and Kenneth Lenchner, and to those who are in their period of Shloshim, the 30 days of mourning, as we remember Rita Goldich, Michelle Colburn, Roger Daniels, Eugene Dreiker, Gerald Bigelman, Harvey Leon Katz, Jerry Stern, Paulina Brayman, and Henry Green. On this, the 4th of Cheshvan, we remember the following yard sites with love: Bessie Barak, Phyllis Dubin, Fanny Elkis, Mark Green, Victor Horvitz, Philip Krosnick, Tilly Mossman, Mayor Prinstein, Lenore Schiff, Milton Schlafer, and Elliot Schubiner. We add to our list of yard sites this week the memories of Harold Brode, David Katz, Leslie Levine, H. Barton Hamburger, Louis Parr, Rabbi Paul Reese, Paul Silverstein, Belle Yanover, Michael Burke, Bertha Blumenow, Ida Love, Howard Schwartz, Esther Schillman, Nathan Slobin, Mayor Stein, Annetta Willenkin, Aaron Cannon, Jack Friedman, Fred Glussman, Molly Gorin, Helen Handmaker, Stacy Jacobson, Rachel Kellman, Molly Parzan, David Perlman, Irving Rowe, Jared Saperstein, Maurice Schiller, Lee Bernstein, Saul Blackman, Florence Hermelin, Joan D. Freeman, Esther Niemer, Sheldon Lieb, Harry Paul, Joseph Siegel, Henry Ulansky, David Baruch, Daniel Bayer, Anne Grace Burstein, Judith Lowe, Manford D. Rosenblum, Harold Allen, Madeline Berman, Hyman Kaiden, Barney Lumberg, Judith Rabitwer, Ann Saperstein, and Joseph Shivak. May the faith that binds us to our loved ones be a continuing source of comfort as we invite those who mourn and those observing a yard site to rise now as we praise God's name with the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, page 184. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'vyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam u'mei al-maya yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh ve'yithadar ve'yithaleh ve'yithalal shmei d'kedusha b'rechu le'ela min kol birchata ve'shirata tushbechata ve'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shalama Rabba min shemaya V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Amen. May their memories forever be for a blessing. You may be seated. Shabbat shalom. I'll turn it over to Synagogue President Susan Kozik-Klein to offer some announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat shalom. It's wonderful to have so many celebrations today. Such a pleasure to be here with all of you. Mazel tov to James Feiereisen and Leah Slayton and your entire families on your upcoming wedding. We wish you a lifetime of happiness and good health and lots of mazel. And Yasher Kol to Leah and her dad Warren on chanting Torah today. You are welcome to come chant Torah anytime. You are both amazing. Thank you to Pamela and Walter Feiereisen for sponsoring Kiddush, Shabbat lunch, and Bima flowers in honor of James and Leah's Ofruf. And I'd also like to wish a happy birthday to all of our many birthday celebrants today: David Groner, Barbara Flair, Joe Gruca, Sandy Gruca, and Lauren Cohn. May we celebrate many, many more happy and healthy birthdays with all of you for years to come. Yasher Kol to Neil Sajovsky on your beautiful chanting of Haftorah, and Yasher Kol to Aya for your beautiful comments today. Thank you to Yvonne Pervin-Keller for assisting on the Bima, Emma Zirkel for greeting, and Richard Jacobs for being our Gabbai. Just a few words about our upcoming programming. Our Scholar in Residence Weekend is next weekend, November 4th and 5th, and we will be featuring author Dara Horn, who wrote very highly acclaimed book, People Love Dead Jews. And you have a few more days to register for the Shabbat dinner on Friday night, where Dara will speak after dinner. She'll also speak on Shabbat morning and after Shabbat lunch. So please plan to attend the special event. It's generously sponsored by the Morris and Beverly Baker Foundation. And Rabbi Starr will also be launching his first Wisdom and Coffee at 9:30 next Shabbat. Our Veteran Shabbat is the following week on November 12th, just around the corner. We look forward to another special day to honor our veterans. Sunday, November 13th, the Holocaust Center is holding their annual gala, where this year we will be honoring Shaarey Zedek members Nancy and Arn Tellem. So please contact the Holocaust Center for more details about this event. And on Monday, November 14th at 10:45, we will be hosting the next in our series of coffee house events, where the topic will be Return and Rebuild, the Renaissance of a New Detroit. Rabbi Dahlen will moderate an exciting panel of people involved in this Renaissance, including Rabbi Ariana Silverman, George Roberts, Lily Hamburger, and our very own David Broner. So please see our website and emails for the registration links. Havdalah tonight with our ritual director, Sal Ruby, at 7:30. And I only have one final thing to say to everyone today. Even though we all try and be nonpartisan, this is the one day of the year where I'm going to say, go blue. Shabbat shalom.
Amen. Shabbat shalom. Again, my apologies to the Spartans and the crowd. To add to our list of celebrations this week, we have some special birthdays ending in a 5 or a 0 as we mark the birthdays of Sophia Tucker, of David Groner, of Stacy Brodsky, Shelley Alexis, Jessica Goodman, Gary Baker, Joseph Gruca, Herbert Pont, Aviva Wagner, Joseph Katz, and Sloan Gartenberg, and celebrating his CSC anniversary, years of membership at Congregation Shaarey Zedek, her celebration of years at Shaarey Zedek is Gabriella Karp, celebrating 35 years as a member of Shaarey Zedek. It is good to be part of our Shaarey Zedek family. With that, we will invite the children of the congregations up to receive a sweet Shabbat treat as we end with the Don Olam on page 187.
עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לית נעשה וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא אחד ואין שני להמשילו להכביר בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חלי ויצרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא בידו הפקיד רוחי ויהי שן ויעירה ועם רוחי גבייתי אדוני לי ולא יירא.
Please rise for Kiddush.
על כן ברך אדוני יום השבת וקדשהו סברי מרנם ורבם ורבותי וגדותי וחברי ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. חיים.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat.